Today on Sugar Spun Run, I'm sharing 3 easy yeast recipes that every baker should know how to make. Hey Sugar Spun Bakers, Sam here, and as somebody who loves the more complicated side of baking, I've challenged myself to develop the best and simplest ways to make recipes that might have previously intimidated you. Today we are tackling yeast recipes, and we're going to start by making my super easy, super popular pizza dough. We're going to start by combining 1 cup of all-purpose or bread flour, a packet of instant yeast, 1½ teaspoons of granulated sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and I also love to add just a pinch of garlic powder and a little bit of dried basil. Stir everything together, and then we'll add 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 3/4 cup of warm water. It's important that your water be warm enough to activate the yeast, but not so hot that it kills it. Stir this together until really well combined, and then gradually add another cup of flour. Stir until the dough is forming a cohesive elastic ball and is beginning to pull away from the sides of the bowl. If your dough is still a little bit too sticky, feel free to add additional flour as needed until you get the right texture. When it's ready, the dough will still be a little bit sticky to the touch, but it should still be manageable with your bare hands. Transfer this to a lightly oiled bowl and turn it so the dough is completely covered with a thin layer of oil. Let this rise in a warm place for 30 minutes or until doubled in size. Now gently deflate, transfer to a lightly floured surface, and just knead it several times until it's smooth. Use your hands or a rolling pin to work this dough into a 12-inch circle. Carefully transfer this to a parchment paper covered pizza pan, and then just gently pinch the edges or fold them over to form your crust. Drizzle this with just a little bit of olive oil. And now all that's left to do is top this off with some sauce and some cheese on whatever toppings you like and bake. I usually bake my pizza in a 425 Fahrenheit preheated oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. Next, we'll move on to my easy homemade dinner rolls. Start by preheating your oven to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. In the bowl of a stand mixer, combine 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2½ teaspoons of rapid rise or instant yeast, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and 1¼ teaspoons of salt. Stir until everything is well combined. Now you'll want to grab a small saucepan where we will combine 1/2 cup of water and 1/2 cup of whole milk. Add 5½ tablespoons of unsalted butter. And we'll take this over to our stovetop where we will heat it until it reaches 105 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Now turn your mixer speed to low and gradually add that warm milk mixture. Once combined, add a lightly beaten egg and a lightly beaten egg yolk and gradually increase your mixer speed to medium, stirring until completely combined. If you have one, I recommend switching over to a dough hook at this point. Turn your mixer to medium-low speed and gradually add another 1/2 cup of flour plus additional as needed. We're looking for a dough that clings to itself and is pulling away from the sides of the bowl. It should develop a soft, elastic texture. It might still be a little bit tacky to the touch, but it shouldn't be so sticky that it's unmanageable. Transfer your dough to a lightly oiled bowl, tightly cover it, and let it rest in a warm place for 10 minutes. Grab a 9x13 glass baking dish, and we're going to add 1½ tablespoons of butter, and you'll want to melt this. Transfer your rested dough to a clean, lightly floured surface and divide into 15 even pieces. I like to do this by rolling my dough into a log and then evenly cutting it into 15 pieces. Then shape each one into a smooth round ball. Space your rolls evenly into your prepared baking dish and then tightly cover with aluminum foil. Transfer this to your 200 degree Fahrenheit oven and then turn your oven off. Let the rolls rise in your warm but off oven for 15 minutes. Now preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Your rolls will continue to rise while your oven is preheating. Once your oven is preheated, remove your foil and lightly brush each roll with a little bit of milk. Now bake the rolls in your 350 degree oven for 18 to 20 minutes or until they're cooked through and beginning to turn a light golden brown. I love this recipe because it's a great and easy way to have fresh dinner rolls on your table in under an hour. Now I want to show you how to make the perfect loaf of homemade bread. Every baker needs to know how to make this recipe. Start by combining 1 1/4 cups of water and 1/4 cup of whole milk. Heat this in the microwave until it reaches a temperature between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure to stir it because otherwise you can end up with hot pockets from the microwave. Pour this into a large bowl and add 2 1/4 teaspoons of active dry yeast and a teaspoon of granulated sugar and stir to combine. Let this sit for about 5 minutes or until the yeast is nice and foamy. Now add 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of softened butter, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Stir this together until well combined. Now gradually add additional flour as needed. You want to mix this until the dough clinks together and forms a ball that pulls away from the side of the bowl. The dough should still be slightly tacky to the touch, but not too sticky to handle. Are you noticing a recurring theme with my yeast recipes? Now transfer this to a clean surface and knead for about 5 to 10 minutes or until the dough is smooth and elastic. Lightly oil a large bowl and add your dough, turning it to coat the surface lightly with oil. Cover your bowl and let it rise in a warm, draft-free place until it's doubled in size, about 1 to 2 hours. Now, once your dough has doubled, transfer it to a clean, lightly floured surface and use your hands to gently deflate the dough. Gently form this into an 8 by 12 inch rectangle and starting with the longer end, tightly roll the dough into a log. Tightly pinch the seam to seal the dough and tuck the ends underneath to form a loaf. Transfer this to a lightly greased bread pan. Now cover this with a clean towel and let it rise in a warm place until doubled in size again or until the dough is about 1 inch over the edge of the bread pan. Once your bread has risen, you'll want to uncover it and transfer it to a 400 degree Fahrenheit oven where it will need to bake for about 25 minutes. When it's done, it will sound hollow when tapped. And that is how you make 3 basic yeast recipes completely from scratch. I think that even the most beginner baker can handle these recipes, and I can't wait to hear how you like them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.